Attention, all views and opinions expressed in this video and channel are for educational purposes only.
All right, people. So listen up, guys. If you're in the smoke shop game, you're in the C-store game, you're in the vape shop, hemp people, everybody else who has spent the last 5 years trying to figure out what is legal, what is illegal for that matter, and what is legal until somebody in Washington wakes up and says, nah, we ain't doing that no more. We got a big one today. The U.S. Supreme Court just handed down a decision involving MJ users and firearms on top of that. I know this isn't a firearms channel, but it kind of includes all of us, right? Not me personally, you know, I'm a felon. And before Facebook turns this into everybody can smoke weed on a tank and start target practicing in the Walmart parking lot, well, it's not like that. So let's slow this thing down to the real level, all right? Because this ruling is super, super important. Hey, and it's real. It affects millions of you out there, but it's not a blank check to do the dumb shit that some of us do. And around here, we're not going to report legal news like a guy standing outside of a gas station with a Bluetooth speaker and half facts. We're going to break it down properly. So check it. Here we go. So here's the issue. For decades, federal law said that if you were an unlawful user, of course, remember federal law, of a controlled substance, you were prohibited from possessing a firearm. Now, whether that was in your house, in your car, at the Walmart, as Bella said, and possession. And that even included marijuana. It is what it is. And yes, before everybody starts typing, but it's legal in my state. Hell, I know, man. I know. You ain't got to tell me nothing. I'm 54. I know exactly where all this started, how it started, the whole night. I know, okay, I know. All right, but that is exactly where all this bullshit starts. Because in a whole lot of states, marijuana is legal medically, recreationally, hell, even both. But you can walk into a licensed dispensary, buy a product, pay taxes on it, get handed a receipt, probably even a loyalty card, if not a digital loyalty card now. But under federal law, marijuana has been treated as a controlled substance, although they oversee the whole thing at the state level, which never made a whole lot of sense to me. But I digress. So the federal government's old position was basically this: you may be legal in your state, but we still might consider you prohibited from having a gun. Yeah, not buying a gun, possessing. And that is what created this giant legal contradiction. State says one thing, Fed says another, and the consumer is standing there saying, well, which one of y'all is lying? And the answer is usually all of them, because they're confusing you at the same time. Think about it. All right, the case was called U.S. versus Hamony, and the government tried to prosecute a man who used marijuana regularly, possessed a firearm in his home. The government did not claim he was waving the gun around like a moron while he was high. They did not claim he was threatening anyone. They did not claim he was robbing a gas station, starting a militia, trying to turn his backyard into Call of Duty. Their argument was basically he uses marijuana, he owns a firearm, therefore federal law says he's a criminal. The Supreme Court said, not so fast, jerky boy. The court ruled that the federal government could not automatically strip a person of their gun rights just because they are an unlawful marijuana user. Now remember, that's at the federal level, without showing that someone is dangerous, impaired, addicted, or otherwise possesses a real threat. Now my comeback to be, if he's a regular user of marijuana, are they going to claim that's addiction? Now look, this is a big deal. Okay, real big deal. The key word here is automatic. The court did not say every marijuana user can own every gun in every situation with no restrictions. They did not say marijuana is federally legal. They did not say you can be high as a kite carrying a loaded firearm and tell the officer, Chad Wade said I'm good. I did not. And I'm on video stating that I did not say you're good. Don't pull that shit on me. Please don't put me in that situation. Please. Okay. I got enough problems in my life. All right. I got 2 women in my household. I don't need any more problems. But what the court said is that the federal government cannot just look at the peaceful person and say, oh, you use marijuana, and automatically treat them like they're too dangerous to own that firearm. All right. They did not say that. The court looked at the history behind these kinds of gun restrictions and basically said the government could not prove that there was a long-standing American tradition of permanently disarming every person who used an intoxicating substance, like alcohol. And honestly, when you think about it, that would be a pretty wild standard, because every American was not exactly known for drinking chamomile tea and doing yoga at sunrise. These people were drinking whiskey for breakfast, arguing about freedom, and trying to fight the damn British, which is apparently our friends now. And, they really are cousins. It kind of is what it is, So the court said the historical comparison the government was using, that didn't hold muster for them. Now, here is where this matters to the shops out here that are watching me, or to the C-stores or the hemp businesses, or really everybody in our world. For years, we have watched lawmakers create this bizarre system where cannabis is legal enough to tax, legal enough to regulate, legal enough to sell through licensed stores, but somehow still illegal enough federally to create major problems for all your customers, for all your workers, for all of us owners, for investors in our businesses, for the landlords in our buildings, for the banks who may have tried to help us out with as far as bank accounts and shit of that nature, right? And everybody else who gets caught in the middle. And this ruling exposes just how broken that system has been. You cannot spend years telling people, this is legal in your state, then turn around and quietly say, oh yeah, but if you own a hunting rifle, a home defense firearm, your granddaddy's shotgun, you might be looking at federal trouble. This is not a clear legal system. Hey, it's a trap. And people in our industry have been living in traps for a long time. Different states, honestly, different definitions, different product rules, different enforcement. One county says it's fine. The next county acts like you're running a cartel because you have a mushroom gummy behind the counter. Hey man, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let me give you the part that matters the most. What does this ruling not do? Number one, it does not make it okay to lie on federal firearms paperwork. When you buy a firearm through a licensed dealer, there is federal paperwork involved. All right, you fill them out wrong, you've screwed yourself. They will put you in jail. I was locked up with a couple of those. All right, yeah, it's just like 6 months to a year, but they'll lock you up. I mean, just to make a point. All right, maybe they did, too many. I don't know what all. But anyway, that paperwork asks questions about controlled substances use. Okay, lying on that form can be its own separate federal crime. So do not hear the news report, run down to the gun shop, check whatever box you just want to, and think you found a loophole. That's not what happened. All right, that's not what the court just said. And that is not legal advice. All right, none of this is legal advice. Do your own damn research, right? Have some common sense, right? Number two, All right, this does not protect reckless or impaired behavior. So, you get high and start shooting everything up, you got a problem. Because if somebody is acting intoxicated, handling a firearm, carrying a firearm, using a firearm, or creating danger to other people, that is a completely different situation. The court specifically left room for laws dealing with people who are presently intoxicated or addicted or dangerous and proven to be a serious risk. But my question to that is, could they say that you're addicted if you've got it in your system and you're walking around at the Walmart and they, follow you out to the car because they know you got a gun in the car? I don't know how they'd know that, but I'm just saying. And then they open up the car door and find it and they say, hey, you're addicted and you're a risk because you're intoxicated. Is that where we at there? So no, this is not weed and guns are now the new peanut butter and jelly. Don't be stupid. Number 3. Marijuana is still complicated under federal law. Yes, there's been movement. There's been some movement. The laws are changing. State legalization has spread all over the country. But the federal cannabis law is still a fucking mess, man. And as a business owners, we have to understand that just because something is popular, taxed, or sold in your state does not mean every federal issue magically disappears and goes into the ether. Okay, banking is still complicated, still an issue, and taxes are still an issue. Employment is still an issue. All right, interstate commerce, Jesus Christ, don't get me started about that. That's an issue. And now gun rights are still an issue, just not in the same automatic blanket way they were before. Here is my takeaway for you guys as business owners. Stay in your lane. Simple. You got to know your rules. Do not give customers legal advice. Do not let employees give customers legal advice. And for the love of all things profitable, do not have some kid behind your damn counter telling people, bro, it's all legal now. It is not all legal now. Really, it's just more legally complicated now. If you're a smoke shop owner, a C-stop owner, hemp retailer, somebody selling products in this space, your job is to sell legal products in your state. You got to follow the rules. You got to train your people. You got to keep paperwork clean and avoid becoming the test case that every lawyer in America wants to talk about, because nobody wants their business name in the damn Supreme Court case. That's not branding. All right, that's expensive. Feeling weighed down? Choose Ultimate Gold Detox, the advanced detox drink that stimulates your body's natural cleansing process and kicks in under 60 minutes. Simply follow the easy instructions, drink, hydrate, and let it work. Available in multiple sizes and delicious flavors. For a quick, powerful cleanse you can count on, Ultimate Gold Detox. Detox made simple. The bigger message here is this. The old system is cracking. I didn't say breaking, I said cracking. The country has moved. The consumers have moved. The states have moved. The marketplace, it's moved. All right. And federal law is still standing in the corner like an old mall security guard yelling at people for using the wrong entrance. Don't tell me you ain't never seen that. The Supreme Court ruling does not solve the marijuana problem. It does not solve federal prohibition in any way. It doesn't solve any of the banking issues or the hemp mess crap that we're still dealing with. And it sure does not solve the fact that half the industry is still trying to figure out what product is legal until next Tuesday. But it does send a message. The government cannot just throw broad labels on millions of peaceful people and strip away constitutional rights without proving there is a real reason. And for millions of you guys out there who are watching this, who use marijuana legally under your state laws, and you own firearms responsibly, this is a major development. And if you own a shop whether it be a smoke shop, a C shop, a vape shop, a hemp business in any way, make sure you're subscribed to Chad Wade TV. All right, because this industry is changing fast and the rules change even faster. And somebody's got to explain it without sounding like a damn law professor who has never stepped foot in the retail store and talked to customers or been behind your counter. Hey guys, I'm Chad Wade. All right, stay sharp, stay legal, keep your money right, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.